What's up, everybody? This is a special edition of the Allen Powell Show on a Monday night. NBA free agency has jumped off. A lot of new faces and new places. So we're going to break down a lot that's going on. I got my man Cliff Mason holding us down in LA. And we're going to get right into it. So let's lock and load. Big free agent moves. I think the first move that actually happened is I'm watching the free agent show is Lonzo Ball to the Bulls. They make a splash in a sign and trade. And this is the first time that I felt like they actually fleeced somebody instead of getting fleeced. If you see what they gave up Garrett Temple, Thomas Satoransky, and a second-round pick. And I think what happened was the Pelicans are still trying to have cap room to go make a move. That's why they did this deal, so they can have cap room and sign somebody else. I see you shaking your head. What do you think?
You don't. I fully. Obviously, I'm not an NBA executive, but if I was, I wouldn't move a player that is a glue guy that's highly skilled. I mean, we're not talking about a scrub. I mean, the dude was the number 2 overall pick in the draft, or maybe I got that. Maybe it's like number 7 or something.
He was number two.
Okay, so you got a top 5 pick who's lived up to the billing despite having all of that adversity, a lot of it brought on by his father. He's lived up to the billing. He's handled the adversity. He's proved himself to be not so much yet an all-star, but right on the cusp of being an all-star. And he was playing, people forget, he's playing in New Orleans with a former teammate where they both got shipped off. So that, I think, was motivation. Him and Brandon Ingram were both shipped out of LA for a dude that I never thought that it was going to work. But, I mean, they proved us all wrong in the bubble, but that's another conversation. So the reason I'm shaking my head is because he's worth more than a second-round pick and three no-name guys. And New Orleans is not a place that's going to draw high-skilled or a superstar, let alone an all-star, to come play with Zion. I mean, Zion's great, but he's not a LeBron that's going to draw folks to the city. And so I think they made a mistake in getting rid of a proven point guard, the most important position in the Western Conference. Right? This isn't the 1990s where you need a center in the East. You can't tell me that the point guard position is not the most important position in the Western Conference. And especially when you have Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers, who for New Orleans is going to compete at that position? I think it was a completely boneheaded decision.
We're going to go through all the major free agent signings. That was the first one I saw. But let's go down the list because I think a big one was the Chris Paul. He stayed with the Suns for 4 for $120. I think everybody thought he was going to stay there, but I am a little shocked that they gave him $120 for 4 years. The brother's about 36 years old already. So you're saying at the end of this contract, he's going to be 40 years old. They're going to regret this 2 years down the line. But I think they're playing for right now, which is cool. But $120? $120. You're going to give him $120. Like, come on, man. Give him 3-year deal, 2-year deal. 4 for $120? That's ridiculous, man. I don't understand that. I understand they had to sign him because the progress you just made. You made it to the finals, and that's all good and well. But that don't mean just overpay just because you made it to the finals. Like, that was ridiculous. What do you think about the $120?
So did they overpay? I think that's the idea that people worth multiple billions of dollars are overpaying these guys. I think that's a bit of a farce, but we got to remember CP was unwilling to sign for anything less than 4 years if he was going to remain a Sun. He would have signed for 2 years if the Lakers would have brought him on. He would have signed for 2 years if he was going to go out and play for Doc in Philly. He would have signed for 2 years, right, in one of these other places that could also be a contender. But to stay in Phoenix, they had to give him 4 years. And also, these deals are front-loaded, so it's not like he'll have the bulk of his money by the end of his second year, and I also think he'll retire at the end of that second year. So, he won't play till he's 40. He's not Tom Brady. Sure. He was breaking down this year. He's been breaking down for the past 6 years, and this year,
He
He
breaks
breaks
down every year.
he breaks down every year.
That still don't stop him from getting his money. He gonna get his money because based on what he brought to the table, he felt like he's worth what he brought to the table. Go ahead.
So if you're a Phoenix Sun executive, you got, what is it, Cameron Payne? Do you think that you could risk losing Chris Paul and you're ready to turn the keys over to Cameron Payne?
No, you're not ready to turn the keys over to Cameron Payne, but
Then
we have to come together a meeting where I don't feel like I'm the only one getting fleeced in this deal. Like why I feel like the Suns the one that lost in this deal. Unless he brings them a ring for sure, then that 120 million for 4 years.
The reason it can be problematic is DeAndre Ayton deserves max money. Devin Booker clearly deserves max money. Can any team afford to have 3 max guys? I thought 2 was the max per team.
I think the salary cap keeps going up. That's why you keep seeing these crazy numbers. That's what's going on right now. But
okay.
$30 million a year for CP3.
He's worth that. If he gets you back to the finals, or if he gets you to the Western Conference Finals every year, he's worth every penny.
Yeah.
If you lose in the first, second round, you might have wanted to give the keys to Cameron Payne and let him walk.
I don't think they was going to ever turn the keys over to Cameron Payne. Cameron Payne is a certified backup. He's going to be a backup. He's never going to be a starter in this league. And he can take his role. He has a nice role as a backup. It's okay. Everybody don't have to be a starter.
I take Campaign over Russell Westbrook.
Okay, now you're going crazy. All right, now let's move on to Tim Hardaway Jr. He stayed with the Mavs 4 years, $72 million. I think he's a good player, but I also think that I don't know if I would have gave him $72 million because I feel like you got other needs. Kristaps Porzingis is not it. You need some help with Luka. I feel like you have to make a bigger splash. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a good player, but to pay him $72 million for 4 years, I don't know if I would have done that. I would have tried to made a bigger deal, some kind of way.
Is Tim Hardaway younger than 24?
That's a good question. I think he is. I can look it up real quick, but I'm not for sure.
So if he's 26, 27, it's probably not the smartest deal. But if that guy's 24 or younger,
he's 29. He's 29.
Oh, that's a lot of money for somebody his age.
He's not a star. Around the block a little bit.
Yeah, he's not a star. See, I thought he was a young guy. That completely, I think, diminishes what I was going to argue because I think you have to protect Luka with shooters, and he proved that he could do that throughout the playoffs and the regular season. Kristaps isn't happy, and I think if Cuban gets a reasonable offer, I think he has to take it because he's going to be toxic. Because Kristaps wants to go, he's not happy. So yeah, I think signing him was smart. I don't know if I give an average 29-year-old $72 million. I would give that to a star, but not an average cat that has.
I think what happens is average people are making this type of money now. They just throwing money around, man. It's getting crazy. Like you say, Tim Hardaway Jr. $72 million. That's a lot. But he got $72 million. Jared Allen stays with the Cavs for $100 million, 5 year, $100 million. He's a good player. And I believe he's still young.
Yeah.
I remember when he was with the Nets, and people was like, man, I don't know if I would have gave him up.
Nope.
He's a good player, but $100 million. Is he worth $100 million though? $100 million.
This will answer your question. If Brooklyn had Jared Allen, does Giannis average 12 to 15 rebounds a game in that series, and do they win?
It's a good question. It's good. Probably not. And I just looked at his age. He's only 23 as well. So.
Oh my gosh, that was then let's leave Jared Allen because that dude's worth 120.
Wow. So he got $100 million. He got $100. Mike Conley back with the Jazz. 3 years, $72 million. I like that deal. That's the type of deal Chris Paul should have got. That's what I'm saying. 3 years, $72 million. I think that's a good deal. Good deal.
Well, it's a good deal for Utah because of what I texted you earlier. I think signing Mike Conley, they need that veteran presence. And he's not just a veteran. I mean, he's a veteran that has only made it to one All-Star, but he's been an All-Star. I mean, he's always going to get you 8 to 10 assists a game. The reason Chris Paul could never have a $72 million for 3 years, we've never argued that Mike Conley is the best at anything. There was about 4 years of Chris Paul's career where we're saying he's the best point guard in the game, bar none.
Okay, I got you. But at this point in their careers, Chris Paul's age, Mike Conley's age, and what I think that Chris Paul just played hardball and he won.
At this point in his career, Chris Paul was runner-up to be an MVP?
Well, was he runner-up?
So it was Jokic who didn't deserve it. He got it. It should have been Steph, but I think Steph was.
I think you know what Chris Paul
was third.
He might have been run-up. He might have been run-up.
I mean, you're the runner-up to be MVP. You go get that money.
Mike Conley, he's 33, and he got a 3-year deal, and CP3 is 36 and got a 4-year deal. How?
MVP, NBA Finals.
Utah did a great job with their move with Mike.
Yes.
Yes. Kyle Lowry is going to the Heat for 3 years, $90 million.
Miami.
How? Little chubby point guard, man. Like he good, but $90 million. Like, come on.
He's not good. That's disrespectful. My Kyle Lowry is great.
Come on, great.
Kyle Lowry,
great. Come on, man.
You name a franchise that you support, man. And we could probably think of maybe 5 teams that aren't made better by replacing your point guard with Kyle Lowry.
Listen, man, you going a little too far with this great stuff, man. He's not great. He's not great, man. You're going too far. Our YouTuber viewer says Lakers just signed Kent Bazemore. Nobody cares about Kent Bazemore, but I appreciate you letting us know. She said, he says, Lakers are winning free agency. No, they're not.
Yes, they. What? You don't think they are?
No. Russell Westbrook was not a free agent move. That was a trade. Okay. So the only free agent moves they made was Dwight Howard, Kent Bazemore,
Trevor Ariza.
No, that's winning free agency. Come on, man.
I think when you make that reference, it's you're winning this period of time.
Okay. You talking about the off season?
Yes.
They're winning the off season.
They're winning the off season.
Okay.
It's not even close. Because you
else?
gave up Kuzma, Montrez,
KCP,
and who was the other? And who?
KCP, Contavious
and KCP. You gave up Kuzma and Montrez for an MVP.
QT said, "Don't worry, we're about to get Melo and Patty."
If they get Patty Mills, it's a wrap. Melo's not going to make or break them being a championship team.
Yeah,
Patty Mills will put them over the top. If they get Patty Mills, they'll sweep the Nets. You heard it here first. If the Lakers sign Patty Mills, they will sweep the Nets.
Really? Patty Mills. That's the. Stop it, man. Stop it.
They'll
Patty
sweep
Mills.
the Nets.
Oh, Patty Mills. They get Patty Mills. That's gonna do it right there. Oh, Patty Mills. That's the key. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so look, I want to go back to Lonzo for a second. So
okay,
the Bulls got Lonzo Ball, right? And I like the move. And I even like the money that they gave him. Real quick, QT said Lakers can still get so many good free agents. This team is actually looking scary. We'll see when they start playing. But you know who I'm ready for now?
Who?
Do you know? This guy right here. This is who I'm waiting for. Never lost. This is who I'm waiting for. Mr. Triple B himself, LeVar Ball. I can't wait. The Chicago media is going to love it. The Chicago media is going to love it. That's who I'm waiting for. LeVar Ball, never lost in the building. Victor Legron says sweep the Nets. He's laughing at what you said, Cliff. He's laughing.
Okay. They get Patty Mills. They sweeping the Nets. Because we know the Nets aren't mental. I won't even go down that road, but they're not mentally tough. They're not ever healthy. They got an below average coach.
Hold on. Are the Lakers ever healthy? You got clumsy Anthony Davis.
So besides street clothes, LeBron's pretty much been healthy his whole career. Russell Westbrook,
he's starting to break down too, though. He's
$1 million years old.
Oh, exactly. So you want to talk about the Nets' health? Talk about the Lakers' health, because AD is definitely going to get injured somewhere down the line.
But the Lakers aren't mentally weak like Kevin Durant and James Harden. How many playoff failures have those two had?
If that's what you think, okay. QT says Caruso leaving hurts a lot, but
who signed Caruso?
The Bulls.
The Bulls got Caruso?
Come on, don't you do all
Wait,
of that?
the Bulls got Caruso?
Don't do all of that. Come on, man. Don't do that.
That backcourt is going to be nasty.
Come on, man.
Lonzo, Caruso, Levine.
Man.
Oh my
God!
God!
Do all of that. Don't you get all excited like he's that guy. Stop it.
I might have to go buy a Bulls jersey. I'm flying to Chicago to watch a game.
You better not buy a Caruso jersey.
I'm not gonna buy Caruso, but I might be flying to Chicago to watch some games. Exactly. Oh my God!
Stop it, man. I'm definitely excited about the team, but don't go. How dare you go crazy like that over Anthony Caruso? Come on, man.
Zach LaVine. I got the roster pulled up right here. Al-Farouq Amino, I forgot about him. God!
But don't you dare get so excited like that about Caruso. That's ridiculous. Alex Caruso. I call him Anthony Caruso.
Nikola Vucevic. You got him too.
I called him Anthony Caruso. I mean Alex Caruso. She said Caruso leaving hurts a lot, but if we can sign Otto Porter and Avery Bradley, we could. So QT just think the Lakers just gonna sign everybody. They're going to sign Patty Mills. They're going to sign Melo. They're going to sign Otto Porter Jr. They're going to sign Avery Bradley. Anybody else the Lakers going to sign?
Everybody talking about Melo. People forget Melo and Chauncey were teammates. I think Melo wants to play for Chauncey. Yeah, they got to figure out the money. But I don't see Melo. Everybody, Stephen A. and Jalen Rose, everybody talking about Melo ain't about to not play with. Imagine you get a chance to play with your old teammate, your buddy. It wasn't like they had that. But he
got a banana boat buddy in LA. So
it don't matter. I don't think LeBron wants Melo. They play the same position.
Melo come off the bench. He came off the bench in Portland. Why he can't come off the bench in LA?
Yeah, but he comes off the bench in Portland, but he's finishing the games. The dude's a key player. He wouldn't be a key player in LA.
Victor Legron says AD equals always dinged. There you go.
Yeah, street clothes. That's what I like with Chuck. When Chuck called him street clothes, I was dying. And I was like, yeah, that's fitting. Street clothes. And that's fine. Yes. But people forget who else is on the Lakers roster. They got like the third best center in basketball on the same team as AD.
Who you talking about? Dwight Howard?
No. I'm talking about the dude they got from Detroit.
He's not going to stay there. He's leaving. He
ain't leaving. He wants to be the next Kareem.
He wants to get paid. He's still young. You talk about being young. He's still young. QT says DeMar still haven't made a decision yet on what he's doing, so maybe we can get him for the low MLB.
No, he ain't gonna take the veterans minimum.
Once again, Lakers just gonna sign everybody according to QT.
You know what could be? You'll agree with this. You know who could sign him because he could figure out the money, and there's no tax in that, no state income tax in that state. Pat Riley. Pat Riley could get DeMar DeRozan. They could afford him.
Well, I don't know. They gave Duncan Robinson $90 million. They gave Kyle Lowry $90 million. Jimmy Butler's still making max money.
Butler's got the max
money. I think they tapped out, brother.
No, but he hasn't put up the numbers to warrant a max contract. They won't get him for the veterans exception.
He's only 29 years old.
29?
Yes.
That ain't no spring chicken.
I know, but if Tim Hardaway Jr. can get $72 million, what makes you think DeMar DeRozan, which is a more proven player, can't get the same amount?
I think he could get 4 years, maybe 4 years, 100.
Now with the Heat, they don't have that type of money anymore.
Or maybe
DeMar 31. DeMar 31. That's my apology.
So he's not getting no. If he does maybe a 4 year, he can get 85 to go play with them dudes. Maybe 80, maybe even less because there's no state income tax. He could take 75 and maybe not even get and have the same amount of money lost.
Yeah. Let's go through some more deals. Let's see where we at. D-Rose staying with the Knicks 3 years, $43 million. I think that was a no-brainer the way he performed. I think that was a no-brainer for the Knicks. The key is who else are they going to bring in with Julius Randle and D Rose to really make that push? Because they didn't have enough scoring last year.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with them is, as much as I love Derrick Rose, he's still never developed into a 44% three-point shooter. I mean, he's still not a consistent jump shooter. And so they're going for the Knicks to be competitive with the East improving, especially with them boys in Miami, and you still got the defending champs on that side of the aisle. Yeah. They're going to have to get some shooters. And I think the Lakers are going to get most of them. JJ Redick's available. They're not going to get him. The Lakers are probably going to get Redick because he's not worth. You could pay that dude $10 million a year and he'll come play for that.
Speaking of $10 million, I seen Jeff Green. Jeff Green got 2 years, $10 million with the Nuggets. I don't understand how the Nets didn't pay him because he was a good fit with them and he showed up in the playoffs. Why wouldn't they give him $10 million for 2 years? I don't understand that. That's
he's 11 years old and he can't do a whole lot.
He played better than some of them other guys besides KD. When everybody else got injured, Jeff Green was the guy that stepped up.
Nah, that's spotty. Because they weren't a prisoner of the moment. He played well in spurts.
You trying to tell me he's not worth $10 million? I'm pretty sure that's the veterans minimum.
Who you rather give $10 million to, Jeff Green or JJ Redick?
Jeff Green.
No, you're insane. If you got a team that's built and all you need is a shooter, you're not gonna go with Jeff Green over JJ Redick.
I'm definitely going Jeff Green over JJ Redick. JJ Redick is injured.
Compare with Julius Randle.
I'm saying over JJ Redick, I'm giving Jeff Green $10 million. That's a minimum contract. Mr. Tell the Truth just joining the show, man. You seen these when you seen these free agency moves, man. I don't think your pace has done too much. I think they re-signed TJ McConnell, but what sticks out to you when you see these moves when you look at it?
I think Dwight Howard back to LA is big. I think they miss his physicality down low. They miss his dominance. I think they underrated it and they tried to replace him with Marcus Gasol and Drummond, who don't bring what he brings to the table. I'll chime in on what y'all were talking about. I don't think Jeff Green was the right signing for the Knicks too. The number one thing that they needed was shooting, and I think that they should have played a premium. They should have probably went after like a Doug McDermott. I don't know about JJ Redick because last year he sucked, but I think they should have went after McDermott or Batum out of LA. They should have overpaid for shooting because you saw in the playoffs they didn't have shooting, and that's why they barely won a game against Atlanta. So, but the Knicks are used to making horrible decisions. I think the Bulls are a huge winner.
Yes. Yeah. But hold on. Let's talk about I think you was talking about the Nuggets because Jeff Green went to the Nuggets.
Yeah.
He went to the Nuggets. And I think the Nets should have kept him for $10 million because he showed up in the playoffs.
Well, I think the Nets understand that at any point they're going to be able to sign whoever they want to. You know, Jeff Green is replaceable. I agree. He's a really good pick, and I apologize. I thought you said he went to the Knicks. You said Jeff Green went to the Nuggets?
Jeff Green went to the Nuggets for 2 years, $10 million.
Oh, that's a great pickup for the Nuggets.
Yeah, great for them, but I'm saying that's a big loss for the Nets. I mean,
it is a big loss.
It's not a big loss.
It's a big loss. Listen. You seen when Kyrie and James went down after KD, who was the next person to step up? It was Jeff Green.
It was under those circumstances, though. He's not a guy. He's not even a six-man like caliber. He can't give you big minutes. He's not that dude. He's a role player.
He's a veteran presence. And, of course, he's not going to put up numbers when the other two there because they're going to take up majority of the shots. But you're going to have that veteran presence in the playoffs to knock down big shots. That's Jeff Green. Who else you got on the Nets? Who else you got on the bench on the Nets?
They re-signed Blake Griffin today.
He's
1 year deal.
He's a starter. Who do you got?
They're going to be able to get some veterans on the MLE. They'll get 2 veterans on the MLE, and they'll be able to replace. I agree. Jeff Green is the perfect guy for them because he doesn't need the ball. He's just a solid glue guy off the bench. But I believe that they'll be able to replace most of what Jeff Green brings just by signing an MLE, because you'll have a guy who's still solid who wants to chase a ring that'll join the Nets. And like he said, that was under those circumstances. If you got James Harden and Kyrie healthy, you don't need a Jeff Green.
If they healthy, but you can always use some more bench help. But I want to talk about this, man. Alex Caruso to the Bulls, 4 years, $37 million. When I told Cliff that Alex Caruso went to the Bulls, he just went crazy. Like, oh my goodness, I gotta go get me a jersey. Blah blah. Come on, truth. Who gets excited like that over Alex Caruso? Come on, man.
I would say Caruso is actually a pretty good player. If you bring in Caruso off your bench, I think that was a big sign for the Bulls. You know, usually me, I want under these circumstances, but Alex Caruso is a solid player to bring off the bench, bro. He's going to be a difference maker on that team, and I'm not going to buy a jersey, but he's going to be a difference maker.
But I think what happens is his haircut irritates me. I just wish he would just go bald. Like, I think that's what happened. And every time I see him with that headband, it disturbs me all the time, man. I can't take it. So now it's gonna be a redhead man in the Bulls uniform, and I just wish he could go bald.
And the only hate I got on him is because he was in that LA market, because he's a white guy who got a little athleticism to him.
Yeah, he did.
Anytime he had a dunk, like it was on Sports Center all the time. That's the only hate I got, but he can't control that. As far as a basketball player, as far as somebody you bringing off your bench, he's a solid pickup, bro. The Bulls did great.
Hold on, Cliff. Can he control his haircut?
He can do that.
Man, that haircut look awful, man. That haircut, he got all that money. That haircut look awful. Go ahead, Cliff.
I was gonna say, if you're a Bulls fan, this is another reason you're excited about Caruso. For the same reason that Clippers fans love them some Patrick Beverley, that's why Bulls fans are gonna love them some Caruso. Because he's the guy that's gonna play that Kurt Rambis dog type defense every game.
I would compare Caruso to like Dellavedova. Then
no,
TJ McConnell.
Man, that's disrespectful.
TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell from the Pacers is like that too. Like he had a triple-double this year with 10 steals. I would compare Caruso to TJ McConnell because Caruso may play hard, but he ain't got defense like that. Yeah. Ain't nobody scared of Caruso when he comes.
They go at him. When they see him, they like, clear out. I'm saying one-on-one.
They go at him.
They
go at him, but they don't give him buckets.
I mean, he tries hard. He hold his own, but I'm saying, like True said, ain't nobody scared of him. Nobody's scared. Like, oh my goodness, Caruso on me. Let me pass the ball. Nobody does that.
This dude is really thinking the Lakers about to sign everybody.
Listen, man. QT been on here talking about they just gonna get everybody, man. That's that Lakers stuff, man. That's what they do. They, But True. The first part of free agency, man. What did you think about CP getting 4 years, $120 million to sign back with the Suns?
Wow, I'm just not hearing that. I had some stuff in the house, so I haven't been on Twitter. I guess that's the benefit of being the president of the Players Union. That's a little bit too much for CP3. But He took a franchise that had not made the playoffs for a whole decade to the finals. He should be rewarded for that. I only think he's going to be good for one more season. So 4 years, $120 million, Phoenix probably shot themselves in the foot with that deal.
Yes.
Not for 4 years. I would have gave him $30 million for 1 year. I would have overpaid him for 1 year, but 4 years, he's 36. He'll be 40 years old.
That's what
he's not LeBron James. He doesn't take steroids like LeBron. Like he doesn't have the physicality. He doesn't have the physicality like LeBron. You gave this man. So how much is that per year? Do the math, Al.
Bro, that's like that's $30 million a year.
So you're going to be paying a 40-year-old man $30 million a year who is 6'1". Go ahead, please. Please justify this.
Remember. There's only 4 NBA MVP finalists, and he wasn't just one of the 4. He was the runner-up. And probably Jokic didn't deserve it. I personally think Steph deserved it. But if it's not going to be Steph, it should have been Chris Paul. And so the idea that you're overpaying the runner-up to be MVP to me is just like, what are we talking about? You can't overpay a dude who just had arguably the best season of his career, a first ballot Hall of Fame career, which culminated in an NBA Finals appearance.
Can I ask one question now? Can I ask him one question?
Yes.
What is always undefeated?
Father Time.
But
it's always
Father Time can stop him from balling this year.
And while we're not paying you because you had a Hall of Fame, because you got a Hall of Fame career. Like that. I think what happened is they got emotional. And because they got emotional, they gave him 4 years, 120 win. If you look at the if you look at the Jazz, they paid Mike Conley 3 years, $72 million, and he's younger than CP3. Mike Conley's 33.
He's not as good as CP3. This is they weren't in their feelings. This is why you pay the guy. DeAndre Ayton was an average big before this season. CP made that dude a star. Cameron Payne was a no-name before this year. CP made that guy a household name 2 months ago. He made every single player on that roster better. So by the time he leaves in 2 years, because I'm with Truth, I don't think he's going to play out this contract. When he leaves, that's going to be a different beast that the West has to deal with. And that's because of his regiment, his work ethic, and the way that he teaches and preaches to those dudes. And he's another voice in the locker room to just kind of regurgitate what the coach is saying. That's why you pay him.
I will say this. Even if I think he'll start next year. The year after that, he'll probably be coming off your bench. After that, he's just a coach, But for a franchise to not make the playoffs for 10 years and one guy to take you to the NBA Finals, maybe you do pay this guy to stay around, if nothing else, to be a coach, because he's right, man. DeAndre Ayton, he took him to another level. He's a voice of reasoning. He's the coach on the floor. And maybe for those last 2 years, he's just a overpaid assistant coach. Or you can move him to another franchise. Look at what he's done with every single franchise he's went to.
That's true.
I wouldn't have gave him that much money. I would have gave him maybe 2 years, but not 4 years. I mean, 40 years old, making $30 million at 6'1". Yeah, I don't know.
3 years max, but not 4 years for 120. Hey, what do you think, Kyle Lowry to the Heat? How do you think he feel with the Heat, and what does that put? What does that put the Heat at?
That was a great signing for the Heat. The Heat made some really good, because I think they got PJ Tucker too, who we know just came off winning the NBA championship. Kyle Lowry, it puts them back in the mix. It gives them another ball handler, somebody who can knock down the three, a little bit of a floor general, a tough guy. He fits that Heat culture. I mean, adding him and PJ Tucker was huge. I think it puts Miami back in the mix, because once you take the ball out of Jimmy Butler's hand, the Heat didn't have anybody. Gordon Dragic didn't have it this year. Hero is still a little bit too young, and Duncan Robinson, is just a catch and shoot guy. So I think it puts the Miami Heat back in the mix to be at the top of the East when it's all said and done.
I did. And you right about that, PJ Tucker. I'm just not seeing it now. That's an interesting signing, man. I'm shocked that the Bucks
got Jimmy Butler and PJ Tucker on defense, and Kyle Lowry, not a slouch, and Bam Adebayo.
Right.
The Heat are going. If they stay healthy, we know health is always a concern. But the Heat, right. I look for the Heat to make some noise next year.
And speaking of Duncan Robinson, who you said is just a knockdown shooter, he got $90 million too. So he got $90 million, and Kyle Lowry got $90 million.
Can I give you my theory on why the NBA made shooting a premium?
Why?
Duncan Robinson got $90 million.
90. I ain't no way he's supposed to get 90
I ain't gonna go that deep. We ain't got time for it.
Go ahead, man. You already put it out there. Go ahead.
My theory is because most players who are white, the one skill set that they have is shooting. They can't compete in the athletic or the physical. Not all, but I'm just talking about most. They can't compete on defense. Look what the NBA has done. They've taken the defense out of the game, and they've made shooting a premium.
Yeah, that's true.
So now a guy like Duncan Robinson is not a complete basketball player. He's just a shooter.
Right.
And because shooting is a premium now, it allows those guys to get paid more. Just a theory.
Hey, Mason reports that the Kyle Lowry signing means Jimmy Buckets will win his first title. When will he win this title, Cliff?
He's not gonna win it. Nah.
When will he win this title?
Let me answer that question with this premise.
Okay.
I think the Heat do have enough money to sign DeMar if they move Tyler Hero. If they trade Tyler Hero for a pick, that'll open up the space to sign DeMar, and that's a wrap for the East.
No, it's not.
Come on,
They
need this year.
I mean, we just said the shooting is a premium. You need spacing. DeMar DeRozan and Jimmy Butler are the same players. They're inside the paint, bro. It won't be enough shooting. It won't be enough shooting. They're gonna have the same problem the Lakers gonna have. Not enough shooting when it's all said and done.
But not according to QT. QT says Rudy Gay, Melo, Patty Mills, Otto Porter, Avery Bradley. They all coming to the Lakers. I think he forgot Green, Danny Green, and heard Ellington supposed to be coming too. Everybody going to the Lakers according.
Wait, is Danny Green a free agent, like unrestricted?
I believe Danny Green is a free agent. He's a free agent. So
come on, Pat Riley.
Yeah. Hey, but Truth, you know who I'm ready for in Chicago?
Who?
Never lost.
Never lost.
Mr. Triple B himself, LeVar Ball. That media gonna eat him up, man. That media they gonna love him some LeVar Ball, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny. I think that was a good pickup for them. Lonzo has gotten better every year. He's not the floor general I think most people think he is. I know he was one of the lowest at driving to the paint as a point guard in the NBA. But he's got better every year, man. He's a great defender because we know Zach LaVine can't defend nobody. So you need somebody out there to be able to guard the point of attack, take some pressure off LaVine. And it is gonna be nice to see Mr. Ball back on ESPN a little bit more.
Already. And then one last one I want to get to you, Truth, man. Jared Allen got $100 million. 5 years, $100 million with the Cavs. What do you think about him getting $100 million?
I think Jared Allen is a really good player, really young player. I think he got overpaid. I wouldn't invest that much in the center because unless you Embiid and Jokic, the centers just don't deserve that much. They're not valued that much in the NBA. And Cleveland isn't anywhere near winning, so I guess that's why they end up investing that money because where else they gonna spend it?
He's only 23 years old too. Cliff believe he deserved that $100 million right now.
And some.
Oh yeah, he did. He said he deserved 120.
If Brooklyn doesn't get rid of Jared Allen for jump because they didn't get anything back for the guy, they win the NBA Finals. Period.
He was a key piece. He was
even with Kyrie, and I agree somewhat because DeAndre Jordan is done. He's washed up. He only stayed there because he was friends with Kyrie and KD. But you think even with Kyrie and James Harden injured, that they win with just Jared Allen? Just rim protection?
KD almost beat the Bucks by himself.
Yeah, he would have been able to definitely stop Giannis on some possessions.
Yeah, I think the Nets win the championship if they have Jared Allen on that roster, for sure. Because James Harden would have had enough time to get healthy by the NBA Finals. And I don't think CP and Devin Booker would have had a chance against that crew.
I want to ask the people that's tuning in, man. If you got a favorite team, did your team make the right move? Are you satisfied? It's not over. This is just the first day. The biggest moves get made today. There's still going to be moves to come. DeMar DeRozan still haven't made a decision yet, but it's been a lot of movement going on. Finally, the Bulls made a move. I'm excited about the Bulls. I definitely think we should be in the playoffs. So,
Two moves.
Yeah,
they made two moves. Be excited about Caruso.
Hey, you got to come up with a nickname, bro. What you call Caruso fade he got going on? Homer Simpson. He got the Homer Simpson going on.
Something. I'm gonna go find something to call him because it's pretty horrible. He remind me of a dude, dude from White Man Can't Jump, Woody Harrelson.
He was balling though.
Hey, what was his name? Billy Ho?
Billy Hope. Hey, Hey, what was your favorite move? I would like to hear what was your favorite move? Maybe it don't have to be on your team. What do you think the best sign in this free agency was?
I'm being honest. For me, it was Lonzo. It like the Bulls needed a point guard in the worst way. In the worst way.
So it's two different. My favorite move would be different than the move that I think is going to have the biggest impact on the NBA. I think clearly the Russell Westbrook signing is going to have the biggest impact. My favorite move is Kyle Lowry. Al thinks I'm nuts, but I think Kyle Lowry is great, not good. And I think I think you combine Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry and Bam, I think that's going to be a special trio.
And PJ Tucker. I agree. I like the Lonzo signing. I don't think Lonzo's not as much as a point guard as people think that he is. He doesn't really run your team like that. But I do think Kyle Lowry to Miami Heat was the biggest impact signing this offseason.
Do you think Kyle Lowry is great, though? Do you think he's great?
He doesn't have to be great, bro. He just has to be a guy.
I'm just going by what Cliff said. I'm just going by what Cliff said. He's
great. Really good. He's really good. I wouldn't say great. I would give him a 7.5 out of 10, but he can give you a game of an 8 and a 9. You know, when it counts.
He can do that.
He's really good. I wouldn't go great.
Thank you.
We can't name more than 6 point guards better than him.
Stop it. Yes, you can.
Steph Curry. Ja Morant.
No, yeah. Who would you say?
Ja Morant.
Steph Curry. I would take Malcolm Brogdon.
Wait. If you're a team built to win right now, win a championship, do you want Kyle Lowry or Ja Morant on that team?
Ja Morant.
You're not being serious. To win a championship right now?
So I'm about to name 6 point guards.
You're trying to build for the future. I'm talking about winning right now. You want Kyle Lowry, not Ja Morant.
It was a good signing, man. But Ja Morant is a better player than he is. He's more athletic. He's more explosive.
Sure, but he ain't gonna win you a championship right now.
If you put him on the Heat, he does. Nope. Because
Jimmy wouldn't have any patience for the dude. He would have to carry them.
So,
like I said, I think it was a good signing. But I think
Ja Morant, Cliff, you take Ja Morant over Kyle Lowry, and you say no.
I take Ja Morant over Kyle Lowry if I'm building for the future. If I got to win right now, I take Kyle Lowry.
Here we go with the ifs. Do you take the brother or not, man?
I take Ja Morant.
Okay. Do you take Steph over Ja Morant?
Yes. I take Steph over everyone. So that's my number one.
Okay. Do you take Dame over
yes. Kyle Lowry, yes.
Do you take CP3 over Kyle Lowry?
Hell no. That dude stays hurt and no.
We're going to go ahead and end this broadcast, man. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow, like, review our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. Merch always available. Anybody got businesses want to advertise, hit us up. Clifton shut down the show. I can't take any more of it.
Ben Simmons to the Pacers.
Y'all need some help. See y'all next week.
They're gonna be better than the Bulls. That's what I know.
Don't do that. They not this year.
That's what I know. Well, that's
not true.
We can make a bet.
What you want to bet?
We can make a bet. Let me think of it. We can make a bet.
What you want to do?
A round of golf.
No, I don't like that bet.
2 rounds of golf. 2.
We're gonna do push-ups live on the show.
And a round of golf.
You just got the golf shirts too. I just saw the golf polos are available.
Don't add it on there, brother.
No, because I feel like you first. I already paid for a round to you in New Orleans, so you owe me a round. Once you give me a round, then we'll be even. Then we can.
You can't take it back, man. Don't be a reading, bro.
Yeah. I'm not about to lose a bet and then have to do another round.
Yeah, because the Pacers gonna be better than the Pacers gonna be better than the Bulls.
How? Tell me what makes you
Rick Carlisle. And we have better players.
I love Rick Carlisle as a coach. Give me the players though.
Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, decent. They're good. TJ Warren, decent. Sabonis, Miles Turner,
good. Sabonis is good. Miles Turner, decent.
Okay, the guy who leads the NBA in block shots is just decent. I got you.
Yeah, Sabonis made an All-Star team. So if you want to go there, I can name Lonzo, Zach, Vucevic, Patrick Williams.
Vucevic not better than Sabonis.
They on a
Lonzo's not better than Malcolm Brogdon.
I would say Sabonis slightly better. I would say
Lonzo's not better than Malcolm Brogdon. Lonzo's not better than Malcolm Brogdon.
They even, bro. They even.
Yeah. Malcolm 50, 40, 90, averaged 23, 5, and 6 last year. Lonzo ain't never came close to that.
Hey, Zach better than Karis LeVert. Don't even think about that. Don't play. Don't try to.
It's close. It's close.
Stop it, man. Zach was an all-star, man. Stop.
I give it to Zach.
LaVine's better than everybody on that roster.
He is. Zach is.
Yeah.
And Vucevic is not a slouch either.
No. Again, whenever you want to make the bet, so the bet is made for the push-ups and around the golf.
I'm not doing around the golf, man. I'm not doing that. When you pay me my round of golf back, then we be even. Then we go. Go ahead, Cliff. You got something?
I was gonna say we should have Alan Powell's guest plus host NBA Fantasy League next year.
Ooh.
You know what? I never played NBA fantasy. I always just do football fantasy. So y'all gonna have to, teach me how to do.
It's almost you have to do it daily like baseball, but you can set them in advance.
Okay, we'll work on that because I ain't never played fantasy basketball, so we'll see what happens. But let me see. Yeah, we about to get up out of here. Just a special show because of NBA free agency, but we'll be back. Regular day, regular time next week, we have we got an author coming on next week to promote a book talking about parenting. So that's going to be interesting. All the parents out there, look forward to seeing y'all tune into the show next week because the author is coming. It's going to be a great time. So we'll see y'all next week, Tuesday. Holla at y'all guys. We out.
We lock and load, Alan Pass. It's the Alan Pass Show. Yeah. We lock and load. Come on.